All right. Hello there, darlings. This is Big Meech coming to you right here and right now on YouTube and to Facebook and to Instagram and to wherever else you guys may see this. Um, I'm coming to you from the donut factory. I'm sitting up here walking the garage right now. But I wanted to weigh in on the conversation because uh, I see that we are all up in arms yet again. Uh, just follow my voice because, like I said, I'm in the garage, child, so you may see me, you will. I go in and out of light and carry on, so just follow me. But we're all up in arms over Tony Robbins and his comments about the Me Too movement, or what has been perceived to be his comments about this Me Too movement. And after hearing them, I watched the video clip of what he said. Now, mind you, let me make this preference here, because if there is more, then I need to see the entire footage, because I saw what they showed on the news, okay? On, what was it? Nightline or whichever one it is, okay? So I saw it and I'm like, okay, you know what? Interesting, very interesting. Some of you may not agree with me because you didn't agree with him. However, what I am going to say is I believe that everybody has taken this out of context. I believe that we have become so sensitive in this to where no one can have an opinion. And remember, I was telling you guys about that, about the LGBT community, how we have allowed folks, now everything is always hate. Nobody can have an opinion anymore. Nobody can disagree with the LGBT community. Nobody can not like the LGBT community or anything without it becoming or being considered to be hate speech. And now I think right now we're rolling into this same thing with this Me Too movement. Okay? We have all known, and we do know and understand and recognize that sexual harassment, sexual molestation, sexual abuse, sexual non-consensual sexual contact is not permissible. It is not okay. It is always considered to be a crime. I don't care in what form or fashion that it comes in. Anything that is non-consensual is a crime, okay? Anytime that it is used for political gain, for monetary gain, let me say, if it's used as coercion for monetary gain, coercion for political gain or any kind of power or anything like that, it is a crime, okay? Prostitution is still illegal, okay? In most states, okay? Now, if you're gonna do it in the states where it's legalized and we ain't got no qualms. But prostitution is still illegal. So anytime you are doing this for gain or for to coerce somebody into doing something because you have the power, you have the influence, you have injected fear into these people, that there is a crime. And it is not to be considered or taken lightly or anything of that nature. So in saying all of that, there's also a flip side of that coin. And that is what I believe Mr. Robbins was trying to explain. Because there are those people who have jumped on this bandwagon, and they may have been the perpetrators of the infidelity, or the perpetrators, or those who are trying to use sex as a means to get over or to get ahead or to bat their lashes and carry on to do some things. And because it backfired, then you have those who are using this as the excuse of, oh, yeah, it happened to me too. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's where he was coming from. So a lot of folks have jumped on that bandwagon of, oh my God, you're just protecting and defending these male chauvinist pigs and these sexist this, that, and the other. And I don't believe that that's what that was. I believe that, as he was stating, this particular movement has gotten people into a place of having to stand down. I can't voice my opinion and say someone is attractive, or acknowledge it, because now we have nonverbal clues and all this old bullshit that has permeated our society and has gotten into the lexicon and into the narrative of saying that too is considered to be sexual harassment. Now I'm gonna go here because I found this to be rather interesting. I had taken I didn't take the seminar. I was working at another hotel, and we had a company come in, and this company was telling us, their whole thing was about sexual harassment. Put on my hood so I can stay a little warm. The company was talking about the different kinds of sexual harassment in the workplace, and it's a damn shame that I cannot have a personal or private conversation with someone else because somebody who walks by and hear my conversation, nosy and carrying on, hear my conversation, is offended by my conversation, and they could go to HR and say that they feel harassed or whatever because they overheard me saying X, Y, and Z to somebody else, and the conversation was not about them, it was not directed towards them, it was not anything that had anything to do with them, but because they overheard it and felt some kind of way about it, they went to HR and it became a problem. So that there is what the workplace now is all about. So because of that, Mr. Robbins was saying that he gave the example of a friend or somebody, some male, who was looking at applicants, and the man felt as if he could not hire the woman because even though she was the best qualified, he felt a little some way because he didn't wanted to come out that maybe she got hired because he found her too attractive or very attractive or whatever, and it become a thing. So rather than go through the drama of all that, he opted not to hire her and hired the men instead, or the man. So what this could easily turn into is a whole bunch of red tape, because now that that's been spoken, this can become a whole bunch of red tape about discrimination in the workplace and this, that, and the other. See, we have gotten so fucking sensitive and super sensitive and want to have exact interpretation. We want everybody to jump on these bandwagons and carry it on, and we refuse to consider any other thing that is on the spectrum. And if, like I said, if there's anything else that I'm misunderstanding about what he said, then y'all come on up in here with these comments and y'all tell me what's going on, because right now I don't see what his problem was outside of him saying or expressing his opinion that those who use this and use the victim card, because he didn't say everybody were victims, he said that those who use this as a means to being a victim, those who like to sit down and parade around as victims, and those who go for the sympathy points, and those who like to sit down there and pull your emotional strings just to get folks up in arms, just to get the folks, to rally and battle, the battle cry and this, that, and the other. If that is the case, those are the children that he's talking about, because we know, those girls, those men folk, the ones who always want to sit down there and cause drama that's unnecessarily, that's unnecessary. I was going to say unnecessarily, but we know those people who do that. And those are the ones who make the whole entire movement look bad. Those are the ones who sit down there and bring about all these questions into play, because you have those who are trying to protect themselves now have to second guess why they're protecting themselves, how to protect themselves. Do I have to buy insurance on this? How do we go about and navigate all of this? I'm going to use this as an example because I've had to do this over the years. As a gay man, I knew he was coming. That's my boss. As a gay man, it is imperative that I keep my distance from around certain things. Okay, and when I was much younger, I was always babysitting kids, or there was always children around somewhere and this, that, and the other. So because of that, oh, he is gonna park right there instead of going down. Oh shit. He would, so now he wanna talk. But instead of me having to deal with children, I lost my train of thought, y'all. Y'all hold on for a second. Good morning. Oh, Lord. Yes. The parking garage children, hold on. Oh, Artie done came in. This is what happens when you work and things of that nature. When you're at the factory, baby. Because I can't be as loud as I would like to, because he gonna say something. I hate that door. But nonetheless, we have people who, because I'm LGBT, was always wanting to run game or had their mouth on me because they felt that because I was gay, I should not be around children. And oh, what if he touched the kids? And what if he do this with the kids? And what if? It was always that kind of do I did it, okay? So what I had to do was learn how to distance myself from that kind of behavior. For anybody who had children or felt that way, I wouldn't babysit their kids. You know what I'm saying? I would not. And then I'm old school on top of it, because see, I spank. And many of you may disagree with that. I don't give a damn. I am one from old school. Now, I believe that there ought to be some kind of punishment for your deeds. I don't reward bad behavior. There's a consequence for good, bad, or indifference. There's always a consequence for your actions. If you do the good work, there's good consequences. You get rewarded. If you do good work on your job, you get your paycheck. If you show up on time, do what you're supposed to do, you get paid. If you do not, what happens? You don't get paid, you lose your job, and all of that. There are consequences. So because of that, yes. So I had to learn how to distance myself from that so that it wouldn't be seen ill. It would not have a bad reflection on me. It would not tarnish my reputation or, hell, hurt my business at the time. I had to distance myself from all of that. And then on top of it, I didn't want the necessary drama and the headache that came with it, because somebody else, I would be watching your children or whatever, but because somebody else done got into your ear, you sure he ain't sitting down there touching them boys or touching their kids like that? See, all that old bullshit. So because of that, I had to leave all that alone. Where the hell is that music coming from? Right here. Let me make sure everything is okay. I'm like, what is this music? Y'all all right? All right, I just heard the music, so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Then all of a sudden I'm seeing faces. So, okay, y'all good? All right. All right. So, yeah. But because of that, you don't want to sit down there and deal with the bullshit of all of that. So, I distanced myself from it, and that there was that. So I use that example because here, with this whole Me Too movement, I'm sure the ladies and the men who have legitimate complaints about all of this want to distance themselves from those who sit up there using it as an excuse, as anything to that's going to sit back and tarnish what this is, because hell, it took them forever to come out about it anyway. So for them to come forward and to tell their stories and this, that, and the other, now you have bitches or what, the children who want to sit down there and jump on the bandwagon just because they can get a coin out of it, or just because they can exploit it, or just because they can sit down there and get the sympathy of it all, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that that's the direction that Tony Robbins was talking about, as far as don't become a victim, or do not allow yourself to be victimized by this. Learn how to empower yourself over this. That's what I believe that he was trying to communicate. Although folks only heard, as they always do, the one side of it, to where they felt that he was attacking the movement, and he was sitting up there trying to side with the men and all this, that, and the other. And I don't think that's what that was. I think everybody got too fucking sensitive about it. And in the sensitivity of it, folks have allowed themselves, or we have gone a little too far in expressing what this thing is supposed to be about. So as I'm going to close this off, I'm going to open this up. I want you guys to put your comments and stuff down here at the bottom. If you agree with me, tell me why you agree. If you disagree with me, tell me why you disagree. And let's have an open and honest discussion. Let's be adult about it. I don't need y'all to sit up here trying to come out of a bag on me. I don't need y'all sitting up here trying to cuss me out or whatever, because if you cuss me out, I'm going to cuss back. Okay? But let's have an open discussion to find out how can we get to the bottom of this without this becoming some kind of anti-movement. You know what I mean? What is it that we can do to get on the bandwagon, and how can we stop being so fucking sensitive about it in the wake of it already being a sensitive subject? So let's do that. Share this with anybody. Subscribe to the page, because I will have other topics coming up and all of that, honey. If you want to get in touch with me directly, leave me a message here, or you can email me at bigmeach, BIGMEACH, at dishingtea.com. That's DISHINGTEA.com. Or just go to the website, dishingtea.com, and we'll go from there. So having said all that, and having these little gaps, please forgive me for the gaps, because I am at the donut factory. So having said all that, let's get this discussion popping, and let's find out what's what. Are we just too damn sensitive for our own good? Or do you believe that he was just wrong altogether? I don't think so. I think what it was is that shit just done got a little too sensitive for their own good, and folks are mad and done hit a nerve. So let's talk about it, all right?